So if you watch my videos to prepping, you're gonna see most part of the video is similar to the living large.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you watch the living large training?
Every prep.
It was 2013, that I
Every
actually
prep.
filmed it.
Until now I watch it. Until now I watch this.
Fit Club started right here at the Strip, off Hacienda and Decatur. The energy, the grit, the place that set the standard for Vegas fitness. Then came Northwest, near Summerlin, sharing the Fit Club gym culture and vibes across Las Vegas. And the crown jewel, Henderson, a cutting-edge space designed for bodybuilders, competitors, and anyone chasing their best self. Fit Club Las Vegas, now with 3 locations.
All right, Big Rafa in the house. Good to see you, man.
Oh, thank you for having me here.
We have the Brazilian superstar here. We've been talking about having you come on for a long time.
Yes.
And you're fine. We've messaged back and forth, and he was in Brazil or he was here, and finally the first one of the 2026 is you.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much. This is a
And
great opportunity for me.
You're deep into prep now. It's getting down to the crunch weeks right now. How you
In the
feeling?
weeks. I'm feeling great.
Is it 9 now?
Yes.
Just asked you the other day.
It's under
It was
10.
weeks,
Yeah, it's under 10. So I'm feeling good. So prep is going the good way.
A lot of anticipation for you to get back on stage, You've been away for a minute. We expected to see you on Olympia last year, and you took a hiatus. And now talk about like your journey now. You're staying here in the States now for a minute.
Yeah, I moved here to Vegas 3 months ago to do this prep with Neil. I was in the middle of my off season 4 months ago, and I came here to live more like an athlete because in Brazil is really good for me, but I was doing a lot of things outside of bodybuilding, and I came here to really live like an athlete and work with Neil closer. And I had a good off season. First time I hit 300 pounds. It was hard to me because I'm the guy who lose weight like really fast. So I need to keep feeding, eating. But now we are under 10 weeks to Arnold Classic, and I'm feeling I am my best right now.
I mean, I saw you the other day in the gym. I mean, you're huge, right? I mean, and your shape is. Everyone talks about his shape being some
No
of the best
weaknesses.
up there.
Yeah, I was comparing my pictures now with 10 weeks before the 2024 Arnold's, and my condition is about the same, but I am 10 pounds heavier. So I think you're going to bring some different to...
It's funny, when you were on stage at that Arnold, you only had 2 guys that were in front of you.
Yes.
And that was Samson and
Hadi. Yeah.
And this now you're going up against Hadi again, and
Hadi, Andrew, all these guys. And it'd be amazing, I'm going there, and I have nothing to lose. And I'm going there to take their place,
I know, but the thing is you've had a lot of great placings at the Arnold Classic.
Yes.
It's been a great show for you. I mean, you've won it in Brazil.
Yeah, I won twice in Brazil.
Okay, and you've placed in the top.
Yeah. And
Third and fourth? Were you fourth one year?
Third. And my first year in 2019, I think the first time I met you
yes.
there, I placed 6th. But
it was top.
Yeah, and it was like just in the beginning of my career. And it was great to me because, imagine you like just 1 year as a pro and you receive the invite to go to the Arnold. And it was amazing, And then 2024, I placed 3rd, and now I'm going to come.
Yeah, it's funny. I ran into you on the street walking to the gym.
Yeah,
I
remember
covered up.
Yeah, I'll cover.
You were heading to the gym right around the corner from the Arnold, and I got to see him. He was all drawn in.
Yeah, we have the video at my old sponsor, and it was amazing. I was living a dream,
How did you get the invitation that year? Did someone put a word in for you, or
I sent?
Really?
I sent, yeah.
Well, I mean, remember the Arnold always wants up and comers, but they like having people from around the world too. And
Yeah. And I
biggest
think it
name
was,
from Brazil.
yeah, from Brazil. I was, the biggest name, and they invite me, and it was like a dream, And then at this prep, I was working with Chris, and I came to US like 2 months, 10 weeks before the show, and I stay at the LA and train at the
Venice.
Golds in Venice.
Yeah.
Like the dream for real.
Yes, for real,
California dream, like
California dream.
Did you see the pictures on the walls there, and you were like, "Wow!" Right?
I was going to the gym like 4 times a day.
Yeah,
I was going to the gym to do my cardio, and then I come back.
there.
Yeah, staying there, then come back to train, and then come back later to do another cardio, and come back to posing. I was living literally
And
in the gym.
I bet all your Brazilian people were like, "Oh my gosh, you're in Gold's Venice."
Yes.
So it's a historic place. I mean,
It's amazing.
there's so much energy there. And
You know what I love right now? This is the first time we've seen someone here that get that excited about Gold's Gym, because a lot of people here take it for granted.
All right, take 2. Hey guys, if you have not heard, I've launched my own TRT clinic. TRT Kingdom is now live. And if you'd like to schedule on consult or get more information, make sure you guys go over, check it out, and let us see how we can help with your health needs.
Click the link below.
Shit.
Say click the link below.
Okay. Click the link below.
Yeah, you see, like, imagine it was my, I think, third time in US, and I was meeting there. I meet Arnold one day. I was doing cardio, and I see Arnold walking there, and I met Dexter Jackson, and I met Shaw Holden, and I remember I was training. Shaw Holden was coaching by Chris Aceto too, and I remember one day I was training there, and then after the working out, I was posing at the mirror.
magic mirror.
Yes,
Yeah.
with the window and
Yeah,
the
the
lights
light.
coming. Yes, it was perfect. And then Shaw Road coming and start to look and say, "Hey, do this," adjust me some pose. It was
Did you speak English then?
not too much, not too much,
right?
but
Hey, you don't
yeah,
need to when you have a physique.
yeah. So, and I was training with Regan sometimes. I didn't speak very well, but I could understand a little bit.
Where did you stay when you went to California? You at a
It was
hotel?
like no
Airbnb?
Airbnb, and it was like 10 minutes from Gold's Gym, and we was like literally just walking to the gym. I was doing cardio, walk to the gym, come back to the gym, and I was eating at the firehouse. It was like a movie for me. It was like a movie, doing cardio at the Venice.
So let's take a step back from there. What got you into bodybuilding? Because we kind of jumped right to now.
Right.
Come back to when you were a kid. Like, when did you start training? Like, what got you into it?
Well, I started training. I was 14 years old because I always had older friends, and then in Brazil, like as a 14, I don't know what I was doing here as a 14 years old here in US at the school.
It was eighth grade in sports. Yeah.
Sports, right?
Basketball, track, football.
Yeah, so this is the difference, the culture. In Brazil, as a 14 years old, I was learning to drink. I was learning to smoke, it's different. The culture is different.
Especially if you're with older people.
Yes, and then, but the good thing is I went to the gym with these guys. And the first time I went to the gym, I love it because I always had like abs, showing abs, little bit shoulders. I was skin, but you could see a little bit, a little bit shape, And then I love it. But from 14 years old until 18 years old, I was just training to go to the party at the weekend. I didn't know anything about diet, about nutrition, about training, nothing. Because in Brazil, you don't learn this at the school. It's especially like public school, where I come from. I come from a city. It's a really small city. It's called Garça. It's about 30,000 people there. It's like small. And school wasn't that good. I come from really humble family, so we didn't have money to go to the particular school. And so when I had 18 years old, I started watching some videos on YouTube from Felipe Franco, and said, "Oh, nice! This is a nice shape, and I think I can do this. Let's try." This was 2013, and then I was training. Like I started to learn a little bit about diet, like reading some books. I had a friend there who had just finished graduated to personal, and we start to work together, and we start to learn a little bit about diet, about training. And then I said, okay, maybe I'm gonna try to be an athlete. But I didn't know anything about diet, about hormones, about all these things. And then I got a coach, and I wanted to be a men's physique because I saw Felipe Franco, and I want to be like.
And he was a big star.
Yeah, he was
at
a big
that
star
time.
at that time. Yeah, big star.
He was probably the only one really.
Yes.
Then.
Well,
I went to his gym. Where was he? Has
It's Sao
one or
Paulo.
two gyms. Okay,
Yeah,
I went
it's-
there.
yeah, it's
it has all the
Paulo.
graffiti. I signed the
Yeah.
wall or something.
I saw that. I saw that video.
yeah.
Signing. And then we had like Eduardo Correa too,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Felipe was doing more content on YouTube. So Eduardo was more quiet at the moment. And then I say, okay, I want to be like a men's physique. Let's see. And then I went to my first coach, and when he saw my legs, he said, you can't be a men's physique. You need to put these legs to work, And then I said, okay, let's do. I didn't know nothing about like bodybuilding, and then I started watching all the videos from you, Eduardo, Ronnie, and then I said, okay, this is amazing because men's physique is good too, but it's not that hard to get there, But when I saw like bodybuilders like you and Ronnie Collins say, oh, this could be like really, really hard. And probably if I do something like this, I'll be just the only guy in Brazil to do something like this, And then I started the passion, and I got this coach. And 3 months later, we made the first show, and I won the first show as an amateur. I remember I was 78 kilos. This is about 150 pounds. Like that skinny, but really shredded. And then 2 months after, we went to another show, and I won another show. And then we qualified to the national. I went to national and won the national. And then I said, okay, maybe this is for me, And then I start everything, work for that. I remember at that time,
What year was that?
2014.
But so back then, but you couldn't turn pro in Brazil.
No,
right?
no.
Okay.
No. There's no pro in Brazil, just Eduardo and Felipe.
Like when you won nationals, you didn't get your pro.
No. When you won nationals, you qualify to South America Championship, and then we qualify to the World Championship. Yeah. At the World Championship, you could get the pro card. But,
Overall.
yeah, but just one. And at that time, I was junior, was teenager, And yeah, so at that time, I used to work with my daddy. He's a technician of like fridge, microwave, all these things. And I was working with him with this, and I started to work. I was working with him from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then I started to work at the supplement store from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. to get money and get supplements to invest in my career. So then I started to learn more about everything, about diet, about nutrition, about hormones, about everything around bodybuilding. And I started to love it. And I said, okay, I want to be a bodybuilder. And I saw one opportunity to change my life. Even if in Brazil, we didn't have like a superstars like here. we didn't have at the time a bodybuilder living in a good life, with a good house, with a good car, with good life. We didn't have this there, but I started to watch all the videos from you guys here. If I didn't understand the English, I was seeing you guys, how you guys living here, with the cars, with the house, with everything. And then I thought, okay, maybe I can do this like the guys from US or from out of Brazil, was like just my imagination, vision,
Yeah.
So, and then in 2015, I started to work on this supplement store, and this guy is called Raoni. Today he's my partner with the jeans there. After 10 years, we got a partner with the gym, and he introduced me to Mexitanium. And he said, hey, I have one guy here. He's teenager, but I think he have a future. He has a good mindset, because I was like working like a professional bodybuilder, Even if I didn't have the whole structure, I was living like for bodybuilding. And then I got my first sponsor, and they gave to me 500 reals in supplements a month. This
That's
is
not a lot.
no, this is not. But
How much is that?
this is about
How much is that US?
it's about $100.
Really?
Yeah,
So what
I
could you
was
get?
gonna-
Protein and a pre-workout?
protein, pre-workout,
French cheese?
creatine. But for me,
Yeah, that's a lot.
yeah, it's not just a lot, but I saw opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I saw one brand send some supplements to me, and if I could make this brand sell more at the supplement store, I could be better paid for
make some money with it.
Yeah, and then everything started, and I started to do some videos on YouTube too. It is fun because I didn't know too much about training, about nutrition, but I was talking about what I was doing at the moment, and it was real. Was if you go and watch the
I was
videos,
you should go watch it.
you're gonna see the working out was crazy.
So you need to film yourself watching yourself.
Yeah.
And see your facial
All right,
reaction.
so show that camera right there. Show the sponsor that you have on the shirt, just so people can see it. Right here. Yeah, this camera.
You've been with them since
So then I started work with them 2015 until 2018, and then I went to another company, and then 3 years ago I come back to this company. So they was with me in the beginning, and in the beginning of professional career too, and they did a lot of for me at the moment, because they saw I wasn't joking. I was like literally doing everything what you guys was doing here, make content and doing my diet, doing everything. And I was winning the shows too. In my first 3 years as a athlete, I did 12 shows, amateur, and I won every show.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I was 22 years old, I was competing at the teenager, and then I went to national, and I competed at teenager division and I don't know how you guys say here, open. And then
So like
yeah,
everything.
and then I won the teenager division, teenager overall, open division, open overall in 2026. And then
you won everything.
yeah, and then this year, everything changed to me. The company came to me, hey, Rafa, we want to sit down and we want to invest you a little more. So what do you need to be our athlete, to live as an athlete? And then we start to this kind of relationship. And I was doing like a lot of content to internet, and my social media was growing. I was going to some like expos, and some people start to, hey, let's take a picture. Hey, let's take a picture. And they saw this and how I was doing my job. And we signed the first contract, and I remember this was 1,500 in supplements and 1,500 in reels, which is like $300. But was like for me was besting.
But that's a lot of money in Brazil, isn't it?
No.
None?
No. You can, like, especially now, because the government is terrible right now, everything is really expensive. If you have this money monthly, you cannot do.
You can't now. Could you at that time?
Yes.
Okay, but not right now.
Yeah, because I had this money, but I was still working.
Yeah.
And I started to make some T-shirts and sell T-shirts. I started to do some coaching things. And, I was moving to make my life better and keep, like, my job as a bodybuilder. And 2016, I went to, after winning this show, the national in this 4 division, I went to South America. And it was the first time the South America Championship was giving the pro card to overall. But I was 22 years old. And I remember there's one guy there who was winning for overall for 7 years in a row. He didn't get the pro card. Everybody was thinking, okay, now is the time for this guy get the pro card. And then I went there and beat this guy and got my pro card. And it was amazing because people from Brazil start to see, okay, now probably going to have one bodybuilder, to open division.
We don't just fight insurance companies, we train for it. If you want results, get a lawyer that puts in the work. 107. Do you trust a lawyer that doesn't train? 102. Or a lawyer that quits when it gets tough. Pacific West Injury Law. We're built to win.
At a young age like
Yes.
that, Rafa, I mean, I turned pro at 23. So
23.
I mean, that's where I think bodybuilding is kind of I know the guys are getting older now, and I still think you're best in your 30s, but I feel like when you have already that opportunity to get the pro card that early, it gives you time to navigate in the pro ranks.
Yes.
And compare yourself and like the things you've been doing, traveling to the U.S. and, you'll talk about that. But I think it's important that people realize like you were so successful early on.
Yeah, so and then when I turned pro, I remember my coach didn't want to me to turn pro because he said to me, you don't have the size to be a professional. But I knew that. So I wanted to compare myself with the best guys to see how far I was. You know what I mean? So I thought like early I started in the professional league. Early I'm going to get there because I'm going to work for purpose, And then in 2017, I started to work with Chris. And we went I started to work with Patrick in 2017. Patrick Tour. And we went to, the first show was San Marino Pro. At that time, San Marino was a big show. And I remember I competed against Cedric McMillan and Had Chupan and Brandon Curry at the show.
San Marino?
Yeah, in San Marino. And this was my choice because I wanted to be compared with these guys to see how far I was. And then I went there, and I remember it was like 40 athletes, 42 athletes. And everybody in Brazil was saying like, oh, I don't think Rafa going to place well. I don't think Rafa have a size. I don't think Rafa have the condition, but my thought was, okay, I'm going to do my job. And I know I will not have the size, but I can bring the condition and the shape. And then I brought this and I placed 7 with all this guy competing. And then people start to realize, okay, now I know Rafa's going to do something to bodybuilding Brazil, And it was amazing because I saw how far I was. And after that show, I thought, okay, 4 to 5 years, I can win one show and qualify to Mr. Olympia. And guess what? 5 years after, I got my first pro show and qualified to Mr. Olympia. But in between this time, like you said, I travel a lot. I came to US. I went to Arnold Classic. You know, I met all these guys here. So was a pretty amazing experience. If I hadn't turned pro in 2017 and wait to be like with the size to be a professional, probably gonna lose everything. All these moments, you know. And this bring me a lot of experience, confidence, because I was seeing all the athletes like in person. Like I met Jay, I met Dexter, I met Arnold, I was literally living a dream, because coming to US for us in Brazil is really hard. It's expensive. Yeah. And I never thought I could come to US and stay here for 2 months, 3 months with a sponsor paying everything to you, you know. So I was literally living a dream at this moment.
It's when you talk about seeing how the successful U.S. bodybuilders lived, like you talk about me and Ronnie and like sure, you know, Flex and all these people that you followed. When you first started, did it inspire you to make a living at bodybuilding, or do you think like you wanted to financially support yourself, right, and be able to train consistently? I think that was the hardest part too, because when you talked about working those jobs, were you actually like, how were you able to train sufficient if you were working so much? Because it sounds like you had a busy schedule. So when would you put your training in that?
I went to train. I was working like from 8 until 11, and then I had a 2 hours break, and then I went to the gym.
Okay.
And then come back like 1 p.m. until 6, and then 6 I went to the other supplement store and worked.
And you were getting all your meals? Were you packing your meals?
Yeah. I was able to get my meals because I was working with my daddy and another company. The supplement store, they was letting me, you know, getting my food.
Can I ask you, so you started learning about nutrition, did you know about eating? Was it kind of a shock to you that you had to eat more than 5 or 6 times a day? Like, because I always tell people, you got to eat more. And they're like, how many meals should I be eating? I say, you got to eat at least 6. And they're like, wow, that's a lot of meals. Like, how many meals were you introduced to? Like, what were people in the gym telling you? Was it like every 2 hours, every 3 hours?
You know, this is the hardest thing. Not right now, because right now we have a lot of videos on YouTube, nutritionists and coach talk about everything in Brazil. But before, we didn't have anybody talk about that. And then in my city, I was the first athlete to bodybuilding. That's just me. So nobody in the gym was talking about nutrition, about all these things. So for me, diet was eating sweetie potato with chicken 6 times a day. And then when I met the first coach,
who was the first one?
Is Julio. He's called Julio, and he sent the diet for me. And there's rice and beef and eggs. I say, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah,
I can eat this. I say, okay, this is gonna be fun, you know. And then I started to realize diet was different than I was taught, because I spent about a year just eating sweet potato with chicken, you know.
Why though? Why did you choose that? Did someone tell you that, or is it just something you read about? Or
yeah, I read about like some athletes eating.
So
like
it's not bad, but it get pretty boring.
I'm not.
Terrible.
Sweet potatoes are okay getting ready for shows, but to eat it all the time, it's
like from morning to go to bed is hard.
Yeah.
And then when I got this first
rice and everything, it's probably like, oh my god,
rice
sounds like a treat.
Yeah. Like it was for me, like in the first championship with this coach wasn't easy, but was easier than I thought because the diet, you know. And yeah, it was fun. Now in Brazil is different. You have a lot of contents, a lot of coaches talking about everything. If you go to YouTube in Brazil and write whatever you want to learn, you're gonna learn. Some guys do great content. Some guys do not too great.
Let
but
me ask you about that. So what was your personality like? Were you okay getting behind a camera and just filming your life like that? Or did it seem kind of strange in the beginning?
no, it's
And who did you follow someone's guide of YouTube? Did you look at someone's video and say, okay, I kind of get the idea how I should be filming? Like you film your training, your eating, and whatever else, right?
Yeah, so if you watch my videos to prepping, you're gonna see most part of the video is similar to the living large.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you watch the Living Large training?
Every
It
prep,
was 2013, that I
every
actually
prep.
filmed it.
Until now, I watch it. Until now, I watch this.
People talk
Yeah.
about that all the time, man.
It's
Because it's larger than life.
yeah,
Real.
They planted themselves in my house for a week. And they stayed with, right there. They stayed right next to my house. So the cameras were like
Right.
sun up to sundown. And I never realized how much that would impact the young generation coming up. Because you were a young kid when you started watching
Yeah.
it.
impact a lot because until today I watch because it's nice to see. Like today is different. We make content like we make the video today and post tomorrow. It's like fast.
Yeah.
So you can see just like a little moment of the athlete's life. So okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Yesterday I shoot my training, but the training is not what connected me with the people. And then this video was like the full life. It's amazing to watch this because you see you shaving the back. These things make people like
Understand
Yeah.
it more.
yeah.
They follow it because it relates to everything. Now you see, like you watch
Yeah.
that video and say, wow, I incorporate this.
Yes. Yeah.
So now I need to ask you this. What does it feel like knowing that something you shot almost 13 years ago had that much of an impact, but it wasn't even like a necessary bodybuilding video? How does it make you feel hearing that? And he still watches it to this
Well, if you remember, it was my last year competing. So they actually didn't really want to focus on the Olympia coming up because I had stepped away because I got injured and Phil had won. And I really thought like going into the show, I'd actually do better than I end up sixth that year. But that filming that video, I never realized how much impact it would have on, and especially worldwide audience like yourself. Do you remember the first pro bodybuilder you ever met? Like the biggest, did anyone come to Brazil or did you have to go outside of Brazil to see in real life?
I remember 2014, I went to an expo and I met, how this guy name? I compete against him. Oh, forget. Cá, você lembra o nome do cara que eu encontrei a primeira vez? Que eu competi com ele depois? Oh, forget his name. But I'm gonna remember.
Did it impress you?
Yeah.
When you saw
Yeah. It's huge.
Who do you compare do you ever look at a physique and say, I want to look like that, I want to have that guy's arms, or
Huh? No. Oh, Bayek.
back.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lionel.
He's a freak.
Yeah, I saw him. I was just turning pro. No, 2014. I just had one of my first
and he
shows.
came to Brazil?
Yeah,
to
he
an
went to Expo, and I had a picture with him. It's crazy. The size was fucking
So-
huge. Yeah.
He was one of the disappointments of bodybuilding where we expected more from him. He just never really fulfilled his
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah. And then I saw him. I saw Dennis James there. I saw who more? I don't know. I think just Lionel and Dennis James was there at the Brazil. I said, okay, this guy's huge, so I need to eat a lot to get there.
And how were you treated coming in, being a Brazilian bodybuilder? Not learning a lot of English. Were the guys pretty welcoming to you coming to like Gold's Gym? And I know we'll talk a little bit about going to Florida and training with Flex and everything.
Yeah, so I was lucky because I always had a good reception from
Yeah.
all these guys, you know. I don't know why, but I always had like, even if I didn't speak English, like when I was posing with Shaw Rodin, I was using translator.
Yeah.
And he was really passionate with me to translate and talk and translate, you know. And yeah, it was amazing. And Flex shoe, when I went to train with Flex, I didn't speak English.
How did that come about?
So in 2018, I competed at the show in Canada,
Vancouver or Toronto?
Toronto, and Flex was there. And he posts on Instagram, history, and he tagged me on the history and said, "This is the future." And after the show, I looked to say, "Karen, look at this, Karen. Flex Lewis just post myself here and said, this is the future." And then I text him and we start to talking. And I remember one day, I think I met him in 2019
At the expo
at the New York Pro.
Okay.
I went there to watch Eduardo Correa competing, and I met Flex there, and he said to me, "Hey, bro, come to train with me at the Dragon's Lair." And I say, "Really?" I say, "Yeah, come to train with
He
me."
doesn't invite anyone, you know, Rafa.
Yeah, and I think,
He
yeah,
doesn't, right? He trained, you know,
I
he
trained
trained
there.
there a little bit.
Yeah, I trained there when I was.
there, right?
Very few people trained there.
Yeah, nobody was there.
John De La Rosa.
Yeah.
A couple other people. Very few.
And then, but I think he invited me to go there and spend, I don't know, a week there. But I moved there. And then after, I remember 2019, after Olympia, I came to watch the Olympia, and he went straight to the Boca Raton. We rent a house there. And I text Flex, "Hey, bro, I'm here." And Flex say, "Where?" I say, "Boca Raton." And he said to me, "Oh, nice. What are you doing? What are you doing there?" So I moved here to train with you. He said, "Really?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Okay." I think he was in the Italy at the moment, and he arrived 1 week later. And then we started to training together. And for me, I think this was one of the biggest opportunity, because think about in 2014 when I started, we had Phil Heath winning and Flex Lewis winning, and didn't have class physique. We had the men's physique, but it was just growing. So the main division was open and 212. And imagine for me, invited by one of
The greatest.
the greatest. And it was,
He's the GOAT,
yeah.
you know?
And then we moved there and started to working out together. And I remember the first week, he was like trying to kill myself. I remember I was, after the third day training, I come back and say, "Karen, everything is hurting. I don't think, I think I can't train tomorrow." And I remember at that time I was training six days a week. And Flex said, "Okay, here we train 3 days, rest, and train 2 days." I say, "Why? Let's train one more day." And he said to me, wait until the rest day. You're going to like it. And then when the rest day comes, say, "Okay, this is, I was training the wrong way. So now I'm training the right way."
He taught you a lot then.
Yes, a lot. He I can't say enough about Flex, because he gave me the best opportunity, you know, to come here.
He and I have this discussion a lot about Flex Lewis. He would be a phenomenal
Unbelievable
trainer.
trainer.
Yeah.
He trained so hard in his day, and people that didn't train with him didn't realize it.
But you know what? At that time, Flex was training to go to Open.
Yeah.
And I was training to be a better open athlete. And every day was a competition. Every working out. I think this is what he liked, because even I know he was stronger than me, he was like one of the greatest. I went there to show him I could be a good partner. And then if he did like 10 reps, I 11, and he came at 12, and then I went 13. You know, I was like, we was like fighting every single rep, every single movement, and this was really great because I remember at the time I wasn't strong like him and John De La Rosa at the upper body, but at the legs I was like strong. And then I remember we started to train at the Monday, and we did like chest at the Monday, and he started to say, okay, we're gonna train the whole week, but the next Sunday you'll be the test because it's the leg day. And then I was prepping my mind. Okay, Sunday is the test. Sunday, yes, Sunday is the test. Sunday.
Was he there when you were there?
No.
What year were you there?
17, 18, no, 19. I was there.
I think I met you there.
I might have. I came there with De La Rosa and Neil a couple.
So it was the three of you guys training consistent, and you worked on Flex's time, right? So Flex is like, I'm showing up at 1 o'clock or whatever.
No, every day was we need to be there until 11:30, and then from 11:30 until 12 we talk about everything. 12 o'clock we went to the gym, start training. No cell phone, no nothing. Just focus on the working out.
Who was in the gym at the time with you guys?
Just me, Flex, and John.
And
Nobody
music?
was there. Yeah, some music. Some days coach was there too, new. And yeah, it was amazing because one day I remember I arrived there like 11:35, and he didn't let me going until 12. I said, hey bro, let me go. No, I said to 11:30 is the maximum to be here.
Hey,
You know, it's like
he used to close the gym, to train here.
yeah, before.
But
Well,
you came and trained with him in Vegas, right?
yeah.
I remember you guys were back training together, right?
The beginning, yeah. The gym was closed from 12 until
Yeah.
to 1:30, I think. And then he started to realize like need to be open because a lot of people.
Business, yeah.
Yeah, it was different
Yeah,
than Boca
Not a
Raton.
private gym.
Yeah, it's not a private.
His gym in Florida was like one of the greatest gyms ever.
Yeah, he was amazed. The environment there.
And how far did you live from there when you stayed?
About 15 minutes. I was living near to Flex, about 5 minutes.
And what were you doing outside of training at that point?
Nothing.
Eat?
Just
Rest?
going to cheesecake some days.
Was it amazing to be a full-time bodybuilder?
Yeah. I was
That
living
was
a
the
dream.
first time, because that's why, you went from Brazil, probably busy, to for the first time being able to just lock yourself in and train like that,
Yeah,
right?
it was hard because in Brazil we had a lot of friends, family, a lot of things to do, but living there was for purpose. Was myself and carrying work together for something, and it was a great opportunity. And it was living like intense, like 100% athlete.
Do you feel you have to be secluded a little bit to be successful in bodybuilding? Like, meaning you have to have a routine
Yes.
without a lot of noise.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
It's much easier for you here. than
It's much
Brazil.
easier now here. This is why I moved here. This is why, because in Brazil it was hard to do everything I was doing there, recording, people come to the gym, recorded something today, recorded something tomorrow. And then like some days I remember one day I was last week to the Arnold 2024. And I remember I was in the gym and there's 5 camera guy around filming, one for my channel, another for Mexican channel, another for Arnold Brazil channel, another for
Sounds like living large trainer. I had all these cameras on me in my house, and
What would you have done if you had to have that?
I couldn't have done it. I was my videos. I didn't say anything in my videos. I would tell the cameraman, don't talk to me, don't ask me anything, just stay out of my way. That's it. No phones.
yeah.
You might have struggled
I was
today.
kind of an asshole, to be honest, with my training. I was like Flex, okay, nothing, no noise, just train.
Yeah, so but now it's different, If you do like this, probably you'll not make money.
I know, but that's the main thing, is you want to be able to financially support yourself, right? And also build your name.
Yeah. So it's hard, but it's necessary. We need to learn to do this. Do all this content and do the prep. But some days was hard. It's really hard to see everybody around.
Are you learning more and more every year now? You're working with Neil now, very consistent. I mean, he lives close. You've worked with other coaches before. Do you think it's important that you try different styles of nutrition until you found what you really feel productive?
I think so, because with Neil, he likes to take care of every single detail, and especially for me, my digestion wasn't the best, so we need to choose the right foods.
Is there anything that you need to stay away from right now that bothered your stomach? You said last year you had to pull out of the Olympia because you had some stomach issues.
I have some foods, like if I eat too much, like tomato.
Acid.
Yeah.
Burns your stomach.
So burns if I eat too much, and it's like banana if I eat every day, or bread if I eat every day, start to get inflamed. It's not like I eat today and tomorrow you'll be hard. No. It's like if I eat this for 10 days, I'm going to be fucked for 20 days.
Really?
So now my diet's really clean. It's like potato, chicken, rice, bison, and eggs. Not
how many meals like a day right now do you
7 meals a day.
Okay, so you get up early and you get the meals. What time do you think you go to sleep by the last?
Until 11:30.
And do you get up and do fasted cardio in the morning?
Yeah, I do fasted cardio. I do 30 minutes.
Do you prefer what kind of cardio do you usually do?
Normally I walk in the street or do a bike.
You said you get in condition really easy.
Yeah.
So that's almost a hindrance because you actually have to eat more calories. So do you feel like as you get into the diet, you eat more as you lead into the contest?
Yeah, so when we get deep to the contest, I start to eat more and more and more. Right now, my carbs is about 800 grams a day. It's a lot.
I was eating 1,000, yeah.
Yeah, was it 1,000, right? Yeah. I remember first day.
Well, I mean, you're 300 pounds, but people got to realize that you train hard, right? So you're not going to eat 200 grams of carbs. You'll shrink down to nothing.
You can't just have like plain carbs, right? We got some sugar like dates or honey.
Around the training.
Yeah. And to make easier the digestion, because if I'm gonna eat like 800 grams carbs from rice and potato, it'll be a lot of food. And then put some food like that, like honey and dates, to make it easier and keep the calories in.
So how did you hook up with Neil? Because Neil's he's one of my favorite people. How did that happen?
So Neil, I was training with Flex in 2009, and then I met Neil for the first time. And I remember this first leg day we did there. Neil was there. Neil was pushing the leg day. And I remember I went to the gym and said, okay, today I'm going to kill these motherfuckers because they kill me. They kill me every
body part.
Yeah. So, okay, today is my day. I said to Karen, yeah, today is our day. Come on. And then I remember I was training, and it was like, I always to train legs. My mind was different. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I always got really, really crazy to train legs. And then this day, I think after this leg working out, Flex started to think, say, okay, this guy wanted to be like one of the greatest. And then Neil saw this too. And at this moment, I was working with Chris. And Neil never came to me and said, hey, come to work with me. Never. Flex never said to me too. But Neil saw, and we start to talk about nutrition. He always was very kind with me. Even if he's not my coach, he was talking, in a conversation with Flex and John about everything. And then when I thought, like, okay, it's time to change what I'm doing right now, I was like working with Chris for 4 to 5 years. I said, okay, now I think it's time to change. And I asked Flex, say, hey Flex, do you think Neil wanted to work with me. And Flex said, "Yeah, I think so. I think he wanted." And Flex said, I think no. I know because he said to me once, if he has one guy he could choose to work to the open, would be you. Say, okay, talk to him. I want to start work with him. And then we started, and he is amazing. He's amazing because he take care of everything. You know, he went to Brazil, spent 3 months with me, and he's really, really good people. He's a good guy. You know.
All in, man. If he's staying with you and training, so your life. I mean, you said you have some business in Brazil. You have gyms.
Yeah, I have 2 gyms now.
Are you doing supplement stores too, or not?
Yeah, the supplement store, the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have one in São Paulo. It's more private.
Was there a name of the gym or
no? Yeah, it's like Cave of Brandão. It's like
Okay.
this, but in Portuguese. And we had this in São Paulo. I made this gym after I came to train with Flex because I wanted my space to train. And then when I moved to Las Vegas, I say I can't let this place just close. I'm gonna open for the people, and we have about 100 members there working. And it's like kilos. You go there, put your code, going. You know, nobody's there to take care. Just people goes there. But we had another gym, but it's open to the public. It's called the Cave too. It's in a city, like 4 hours driving from São Paulo. And my partnership is Raoni, the guy who sponsored me the first time. And the gym is doing really great. We're gonna start to make more gyms there around, you know. And yeah, I had this, and I'm doing my coach things too. I have a big team works there with me. But all these things we can do online. You know, all these things I need to do, I can do online. This is why I came here.
And there's a lot of big companies now. Like, I mean, you talk about the nutrition brands, the equipment, and all these. Do you find that Brazil? We talk about the popularity of fitness. I'm going to say fitness, bodybuilding, fitness, female, male, all the divisions.
Everything. Yeah.
Obviously, you're representing the open class. Do you feel like there's just unlimited opportunity to get brand deals there?
Yeah. Because it's growing. It's not just bodybuilding.
Why is it growing so much, though?
You know, it's not just bodybuilding community. I think it's because after the COVID, people start to realize they need to get healthy. And then a lot of doctors start to talk about healthy on the YouTube, on Instagram. And a lot of people, famous people from Instagram, start to get in shape. And you know, when like huge names start to get in shape, people start to want it, you know. And then bodybuilding, when Tamer came to Brazil and bring the muscle contest, he brought to Brazil the opportunity to turn pro in Brazil. And I knew Brazil has a lot of potential people because it's a mixed, you know, and we start to have a lot of professional athletes come to US, come to compete around the world and get success. And people start to wanted to be athlete too, you know. And I think it's companies start to sell more supplements. People want to buy more supplements because they're healthy. And doctors start to talk about everything, nutrition, hormones, and all these things. And I think like this new generation, they don't want to be like the past generation. Like past generation want to drink a lot, the most part, eat a lot of junk food. But I think this new generation, they want to be more healthy. They want to eat clean. They want to go to the gym. And this makes the fitness industry growing. Especially in Brazil, because here is growing too, but in Brazil, we have a lot of people making content constantly, you know, every day fitness content, every day, you know. And then people start to, okay, I want this, I want that, I want this. So I don't see too much guys wanted to be open body because it's hard. It's just take time.
Yeah, but it takes genetics too.
Yeah.
It's
genetic and time. Even if you have genetic, you have to building
Years.
But classic, for example, like 2-3 years, if you have genetic, you can
build a physique.
build a physique and probably go to Olympia, especially because at the open division, just 20 guys. And the class physique is like 15, 16, 17. Men's physique is like 17 too.
One thing I think as well, certain countries that don't have as many options, like here in America growing up, you got football, you got basketball, you got hockey, you got all these sports. And some of these other countries, like you have soccer there.
Yeah, just soccer.
You don't have a bunch of people trying to get into the NBA or the NFL football. So people,
he's good on MMA too.
Yeah, well, MMA too.
Yeah,
His
MMA.
brother, he said, does
But
MMA stuff.
a lot of people look at bodybuilding and say, I can't play soccer, I can't do MMA, but I can do that.
Yes.
So we're here in America.
Now,
so many.
yeah, now when you go to the expo or we do a lot of appearances there, we see a lot of young guys like 14 years old, 15 years old, come to the line, take a picture. Hey, I want to be a bodybuilder.
And they actually probably
Yeah, I started to train like 4 years ago. It's like, what?
yeah.
So I went to compete 10 times. For what, bro? 14 years to compete 10 times. I have one guy which I help there. He trained at my gym. He's called Fernando, and he's a natural, 15 years old. He already compete 4 or 5 times. And I can see by these things, the bodybuilding is growing because like 5-6 years ago, young guys like these, 14 years old, 15 years old, all then wanted to be a soccer. Because if you look to the successful people in Brazil, the most part was soccer, or MMA. Now MMA is growing too. Yeah, recently after Anderson Silva and Charles Bronx and all these guys, but was soccer, just soccer before.
I remember Angelica saying that she couldn't train until she was 18. They had to sneak her in or something.
Really?
Where she lived.
Where she lived?
Yeah. It was
normally
too young. You weren't allowed to train if you were under a certain age. You couldn't go to the gym.
Yeah, I think normally now is after 14 years old you can train. So I started with 14, but I was going to the crazy gym, small gym. The guys they don't care. They don't care.
Talk about the landscape of bodybuilding today. You sat out last year's Olympia. We've had a lot of changing champions. Derek won, lost. Hadi won.
Samson won.
Yeah, Samson won. I mean, these are guys you competed against.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you competed against Hadi when he was a 212 guy.
Yep.
Right? He didn't even do an open show yet, and he did San Marino, right?
That was
It was first show.
The
first show.
He did that, and then he won Vancouver shortly.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Did you see him becoming Mr. Olympia then? You went in 2019, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was that his first year?
For open, yeah.
What'd you think at 2019 Olympia? He was 4th, I think, that year, right? Did you think Hadi would become Mr. Olympia?
At that time, no, because I didn't know too much about the guy, but he won the Vancouver and he went to the Mr. Olympia and placed 3rd, right? 3rd.
I think he got 3rd his first year, didn't he?
He did?
Yeah, I think so.
4th,
3rd or 4th, something like that.
That same year, he
He looked good that year.
He looks good.
qualified in
He looks good.
212
I think it was the
open.
best look for him.
Hey, I say this over and over. I sat in the front row. I thought he should have won in 2019.
Yeah, it
Won
was
that year? Brandon won?
Brandon.
I thought Hadi should have won.
I think it was the best shape for him, and I didn't think he could be a Mr. Olympia because his height. I think he was like too.
5'6".
It's hard to imagine the 212 guys have become Mr. Olympias now, because someone like you, when you see the changing of the guard like that, in my era, you had to really beat the champion. Like, listen, controversially, I mean, Ronnie Coleman, I had a couple great battles against him, right? Mr. Olympia never lost even if they were slightly off. You know, I was on and off, and I felt like we were a little more protected at that time. Like now, do you see the opportunity where you feel like, do you true in your heart think I can win the Mr. Olympia?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I was talking to Neil the day we met you at the Kilos, because at that time when Ronnie was winning, you was the only guy from all the guys was competing who truly believe could beat Ronnie
Every time.
every time. We can see this in your videos how you was
People would
training.
laugh at me, you know.
Yeah.
The competition would laugh and say, why did Jay think he's going to beat him? Because everyone has their opportunity to be off.
Yes. And then, so it was different because we had just one guy winning and just one guy believing could beat the guy. And all the other guys knew, okay, I'm going to Mr. Olympia, but I will not win the Mr. Olympia. But right now, we can have probably like top 5 guys.
Anyone could win.
Anyone can win. It's not like, okay, Derek won and probably he's going to win the next year. No, it's not like this, you know.
Were you there in 25? Watching?
Yeah, I was watching.
Who impressed you?
Andrew impressed me. If you compare his last version, 2024 to 2025, he improved a lot, especially with condition. And I think, in my vision, he could win. He could beat Derek.
And that's not saying that Derek looked.
No.
It's just everyone has their preference. And I think a lot of people walked away thinking that, I mean, he was the talk of the show. I mean,
Yes.
realistically, he has momentum. It's a great choice to do the Arnold Classic against you and the other guys. But, you know, on paper, Hardy is the front runner, right? Because he's won it before. Yeah. So the question is leading into that show, I mean, where do you think you can expose people?
So I know I will not be the biggest guy on stage, but I will be the most beautiful shape on stage. I know that. Because I know I have the flow, I have the line, I have the small waist. I know my legs good. I don't have the best legs. I don't have the best arms. I don't have the best back. I don't have the best chest, but I have a good look. And I know if I bring like with good condition and 5 pounds heavier, I can be like one of the top guys there.
Since you've been off the stage, what really has been your focus on? Is it working more detail, or are you trying to fill in some gaps?
Well, last time I competed, I got
What was the feedback?
my feedback was to improve my hamstrings, glutes, and calves, and a little bit back. And this is what we were working to bring this, you know. Because from the front, I can be very competitive. From the side, I can be competitive too. But when turn back was my gap, you know. Not back anymore, but glutes and hamstrings. But now it look more... before, when I was competing, from the front, we can see one athlete, and from the back is other athlete. But now, when I turn around, everything is there, you know. So I think if I bring this look and with good condition, with my confidence, I can expose the guys there.
That's good that someone can actually look and notice their flaws and say where they need to work on. Not everybody can do that.
Is this the first show that you've taken this much time to prep in one place without traveling as much?
In 2023, I got a year off and went to Arnold. So it was my first time I did the year off, doing off season.
You didn't live in the States?
No.
States then?
No, I live there. I live in Brazil.
So now, what I'm saying is, like, I mean, you have the run of
first
about
time.
the best gyms, like, to go train around, and you don't get bored training at the same gym all the time. You're moving around.
It's the first time. And I think this is gonna make a big difference because, you know, some things, small things you don't see. I'm gonna give you an example. I came back to Brazil like 5 weeks ago, and I stayed there for 10 days. Bro, the traffic there is crazy. It's crazy. You get a lot of
motorbike.
stress.
Need a motorbike.
No, it's
Yeah.
no, it's not good to do motorbike.
Breathe all the exhaust.
No, because it's a lot of traffic,
Stress,
a lot of dangerous.
Yeah.
They crash a lot there. It's crazy how the traffic impacts you. We don't notice that when you're living there, but then we came here and live here, and we like do from my house into Dragon's Lair. It's about 20 minutes.
Do you drive here? Is it so much easier to drive in the States than over in Brazil?
The first time is different because have a lot of roads here, but
Have you gotten used to Las Vegas? Like, do you know how to get places, or do you use your
Wazy.
yeah.
Wazy, help me.
I do too.
Let's
Yeah.
go there and go.
Because Waze tells you like where to take the shortcut.
Yes.
Where's traffic?
Where's traffic?
You know what's crazy though? When I first moved here, there was no traffic. And now, if there's a little bit of traffic, right away, I'm like, oh, I'm not going that way. I'm not leaving the house. Too much traffic. But you don't realize the worst traffic here would be like an easy day
So
with
you
Brazil.
kind of laugh at me when I say to go to New Tech, it's too far. Because it's probably like 25 minutes.
Yeah, 25.
So you're probably like, oh, that's nothing, right? I mean,
But 25, but the problem is there's 50 gyms in between.
Yeah.
So
But you know what's different? In 25 minutes here, we drive for like 40 miles.
yeah.
In Brazil, 25 minutes, you're going to
1
drive
mile.
for... No.
not even.
No, like 6 miles, 7 miles. That's crazy.
Talk about the food comparison.
Oh,
Like buying food. Is there certain things that you can get in the States that you love, or are there certain things you can't get that you could get in Brazil?
so the food in Brazil is really good.
It is.
It's really, yeah, it's way better. Yeah, I need to be honest. It's way better.
But
you know,
So how do you shop? Like, where do you shop here?
so I always depends. Some things I go to Walmart to buy like a cream of rice cake, all these things. And then to buy meat, I go to Whole Foods. And sometimes we go to what's the name? Sprouts.
Sprouts.
Yeah, depends.
There's some good butchers here too.
Then some good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Private
know.
butchers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Send them the place.
Yeah, send please, because I've meat like just turkey and chicken, because in Brazil you can get like beef, good beef.
I used to buy a whole cow at a time when
Yeah,
I
I
was in
know.
Massachusetts.
I
You heard
know.
stories, right?
Yeah.
I used to have the cow hanging down. I'd buy 140 pounds of chicken. I mean, I was cracking my eggs then. I would have like 20 egg whites for breakfast.
And you know what's hard? Because now people are using a lot of bad things to make like chicken growing fast, and the eggs, and it's hard because I always like look into the food and say, okay,
yeah.
I don't know if this is right or this is good or not. I know in Brazil where I bought, it was good because it come from a small butcher. It's really fresh. So here I need to take care with all these things. But here you guys have a lot of hamburgers, and I love hamburgers.
That's one of the things.
You eat In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah.
It is good,
Of
right?
course, I watch you eating this.
You see me eat the 4x4s?
Yeah, yeah. So you has one video you
And Phil Heath?
and Phil
Yeah,
with
and
honey. Yeah, that was amazing. I say first time I did when I came into US. I say let's go to
In-N-Out.
I need to get this protein.
It's kind of hard. It's still the
They didn't have it in Florida. They had like Five Guys and
Yeah, for the normal I went to Five Guys.
Yeah.
But the first time I came to Vegas, first time I came to US was 2016, and I came to Vegas to watch Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
I just turned pro a week before, and then the Mexican say, okay, let's go to the Olympia, and I came here, bro. I come back to
Who won
Brazil.
that year? Phil Heath?
Yes, I come back 15 pounds heavier.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was after show.
Oh, you were eating.
Yeah, eating. I was waking up in the middle of the night, going to some hamburgers and eat and come back to sleep.
We're,
Yeah.
we're spoiled here in Vegas with the gyms and the food because there's like sushi, all you can eat, and all the burger joints and all the food. There's so many. Well, you might not go out to eat a lot because you're at home, but if you go out to eat, there's a lot of food here.
There's a lot here.
Oh.
I don't know. Normally we go to cheesecake because I know it's good.
Yeah,
It's good
It's
and
always
clean.
consistent, yeah.
Yeah. And we went to House Kitchen just to have a date. It was good too. But we don't know, like sushi. Brazil, bro, sushi there is amazing. We can go to the high level sushi there. It's cheaper. Here is expensive.
It is, right?
There's
Yeah.
secret spots.
Yeah, like, you need to tell me, bro. I need to get some sushi. Karen has like 4 months, doesn't eating sushi. In Brazil,
We just had sushi 2 nights ago. Yeah.
yeah. So in Brazil, like every 10 days, we went to the sushi place. Every week.
You know, when I first moved to Vegas, I used to go have sushi every day because back then all you could eat was $20. So I would just go. Just
You have to be careful though, because the mercury levels, they say too much sushi, the fish,
Yeah. So, yeah, it's good to be here, because the environment, look to me. I'm here with you right now. Means a lot to me because, like I said to you, I watch all your videos, even if I didn't understand English and didn't have a translator at the time, at the YouTube videos. And I was watching just to see what's going on with the train, with the nutrition, with bodybuilder life here in US, and start to create this in my mind,
on repeat.
all the spouses have to watch it so many times.
Yeah. Carrie?
So she's watching just as much as you.
Yeah.
You guys don't train together though, or
With me because she came to always when I gonna eat, like when I need to do high carbs, I go to watch Jay's video because I get my food and go there and distract me, and I get my food.
how long you guys been together?
10 years. 10 years.
And you guys train together sometimes?
Yeah, we do legs together.
Gee, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice. Was
So
watching,
now
She's
you gotta-
strong.
I was watching her train legs.
Should she bury you?
Yeah. When we do glutes, oh my God, she's strong. She's
See, in
strong.
my era, we didn't train glutes much.
Yeah.
Today, I think you have, because you said you're trying to improve your glutes.
Yeah, I'm
right?
trying
So
to
you have-
improve
you
it.
actually
Yeah.
have glute work that you actually do, isolation.
Yeah, I do some isolation, but not like just glute days.
But I feel like your legs are so good that you don't have to put as much effort into them.
Yeah, but my quads good. My hamstrings need to improve to match with the quads, glutes too. All the movements like squat, leg press, I connect more my quads than my glutes and hamstring. Now I trying to, work on this.
So-
And Erin is really good with the feeling, and she always say, "Hey, do this, do that, change this," and we work together.
Yeah, I always I had the same issue. My quads were great. I had to back down. So I would always do hamstring. Like when I was training legs, you guys saw me that day. I always start with hamstrings and I finish with quads because I don't have to put as much effort to the quads. I'm really had to increase my hamstring size,
Yeah, now I'm doing just one day just glutes and hamstrings, and another day I'm doing quads and a little bit hamstrings.
So you've adapted to a different routine.
But all the movements, what I'm doing to quads now, I'm trying to open the legs a little bit more to get my abductor and hamstring.
Can I ask you a question? So Derek put out a statement recently. As being Mr. Olympia, he's kind of the spokesperson. He says that we're living in the best times of bodybuilding right now. Do you feel like this era doesn't get the respect as much as the era that I was in, or even like the Phil Heath and Kai Green era?
Yeah, I think it's a good area to live as a bodybuilder because there's more opportunity to change your life. Bodybuilding changed my life. I come from nothing, a really humble family, and my whole life I saw my daddy and my father and my mother working to pay a rent house always, and we get kicked out from like 3-4 houses because didn't pay. And first money I did with bodybuilding, I bought a house to my parents, so these things come from bodybuilding. My relationship come from bodybuilding. Everything in my life come from bodybuilding right now. So it's a good era to live as a bodybuilder because the opportunities. But the problem, I think, is we don't get the same respect because the social media. Everybody can say anything they want on social media and nothing happening. So what's different before? You guys didn't have social media at the time, just the magazines. If I get your magazine and say, oh, Jay looks like shit, you're never going to know because he's in my house.
Now you can tell him.
Now, yeah.
I don't like how you look.
Yes. And you have a lot of guys who is specialists on the bodybuilding. They never competed. They never did a diet. They never did.
Do you block that noise?
Yeah. We've been working to don't get distraction by these things. But if someone come to my page and say some bad things, I block them. That's it, But you cannot control everything. You need to control your mind to don't get this hit you. But it's hard because you see, like Derek right now.
He's getting a lot of grief.
But
it's not his fault.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. He was there. He was competing. He didn't judge himself. You know what I mean? So what he could do, and people come and you see a lot of guys, you're different because you kind to understand this era because you're still living this era, You're not the guy who said, oh, I'm old. The old era was the best,
I think honestly, a lot of you guys would do very well against any lineup. Of course. Truthfully, I hate that they compare it. I don't like comparing eras, but listen, I'm just being open about it. I won $100,000 at the Arnold Classic. I won 3 years in a row. Okay, 3 titles here somewhere. And I also won a truck, right, each year. But it's 750 G's. How would it be taking 750 back to Brazil?
It's a change of life.
Yes.
It's a change of life.
I mean, listen, 200 will change your life, but almost $1 million. Like, someone can go
win both.
UK,
this in Brazil, $1 million.
Yeah, this in Brazil is about 5 million reals. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money
here.
Yeah, it's a lot of money here too. So yes, you see, this is how.
Problem is, they're going to take the tax.
Yeah, 30% tax.
You know what I don't. I told
but
Jay,
still good money.
Jay this earlier. Every time I go on social media or I go on YouTube or whatever, I see different people in the bodybuilding community assessing the day or this, that, and the other, and it's always negative.
Yeah.
The way they word something. This person's throwing shade. This person's talking down, and you listen to, but they're not. Yep. People just constantly put out negativity so they can get more views, but it's not helping anything.
Yeah, no helping.
And it's frustrating. So I just
it's hard because like you said, you don't like to compare because it's different. I saw some guys like say, if this guy compete in my era, if this, in Brazil I say, if he doesn't exist, if it doesn't exist, like I say in Brazil. If my mom has a dick, he would be my daddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's impossible to compete.
I saw someone else say that. If Hadi Chupin was competing our era, he'd get killed. Hadi would smoke people in any era. I don't care what they say.
And you know what? People, the athletes from this old era, doesn't know how to bodybuilding right now. Yeah. We don't have the same supplements like hormones.
Sure.
Yeah, like before, everything is underground, everything is shit right now. You have to split, like you have to be athletes, but you have to make a lot of content too. This is hard. This looks like easy, but it's not easy. It's hard because you need to make content and you can't just film like you did before. Like, hey, just film it.
Way, yeah. Once a year, film a video. That was my social media. All those, that was 1 week of filming, pretty much.
For the whole year, yeah.
Yeah, so now you need to film like every week,
day almost.
Yeah, every day almost.
You know, I know we talked about this before, but
It's a job.
Just imagine if when you were in your heyday, if every time you had to be on your phone, every time you looked at there, someone, you suck, you're this, you constantly would hear that. It could affect you.
Yeah, in Brazil, like last year, I didn't compete because I had a gut issue. And people start to, I was coming from a fucking amazing year, like, you're the best. And then 2025, people start to say, oh, half is done.
Yeah.
Half is done. Half just want to be a daddy. Half don't want to be a bodybuilder anymore. You know, they start to talk all this shit. And they don't know what's going on in your life, you know what I mean?
No.
And they think like we as athletes, we don't have like problems in life, but we do. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need to get step back to come back strong. But they don't understand.
I think that you're under a lot of pressure because you're representing Brazil in the Open. There's so much. When I mention your name to anyone that's Portuguese, like from Brazil, they know your name. So, like, you have legit celebrity status there. And I always talk about, Brazil kind of rules the bodybuilding arena almost at this point. I mean, they, like we just talked about, every division's locked up.
Yeah.
With champions, whether it's male, female, every division. And now, I mean, you're representing the Open. You said Goodvito, obviously he's Russian, but he's
presenting Brazil.
He's living in Brazil, right?
He's living in Brazil, yeah.
And like all this new talent coming up. And like I said, it's an open opportunity for you coming into this Arnold Classic. I mean, you must be so excited to be on stage again in Ohio and to have a record purse. And I mean, the lineup is going to be stellar.
Yep.
Do you envision yourself on stage with these guys and like trying to go through your poses and looking how you're going to expose?
Yeah, you know, in my mind, I like to be prepper, you know. So in my mind, I know what I need to do if I'm gonna compete like side with Nick Walk or Andrew Jack or Hachupa or I forgot the name. Martin. You know, I know what I need to do if I be like.
He's in good shape, also.
Yeah, he's amazing.
There's nothing out like wow. There's something that jumps out. Just, I mean, he has a good flowing physique.
Good flowing. Yeah, it's good flowing.
He comes in great shape.
Great shape. Great condition. Always in condition. You know, he's a good guy, and you know, all these guys.
Nick Walker.
Nick is different, you know. I see him. He brings the freak element, but I don't think he has like the shape. You know what I mean?
Well, we always said that he's going to outmuscle people. Do you think he's like probably the freakiest bodybuilder in the circuit now?
I think so.
Right. Would you say?
I don't know if there's a freakier one.
Yeah.
He's right there.
Yeah,
he's one of the freakiest of kind of all time.
Yeah.
You just showed up your first physique pictures I saw somewhere.
Sorry?
Saw it on one of the podcasts had you.
All right. Yeah, my first show.
100 pounds or something. No, they just how you look at 10 weeks. You posted something, right?
Oh yeah. The kilos.
Yeah.
And I posted, and yeah, I'm looking good for the time, you know, compared to myself. But the 10 weeks out of our last time was.
So you got positive feedback from how you're looking
with the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see. I didn't see the comments. I saw the video, but I didn't. I don't like to go to comments.
Do you have Flex look at you at the gym?
Not yet.
When does it get critical for you? How many weeks down?
I think from now until
9 weeks down.
9 weeks.
You start changing every week.
Yeah, my body's changed a lot right now.
And how tall are you?
5'11".
And what's the heaviest you've competed at yet?
260
pounds.
260. 262.
Do you think you'll be around that weight?
I think I'm gonna be like 266, 267, probably.
It's a big weight, man.
Yeah.
4 pounds on someone when you got shape. So
yeah,
it's a big difference.
I think gonna be like this. I know you know, I don't know how my body will change right now, but I'm not too fat, and I'm 285, 286. So if I lose like 20 pounds, I think I'm gonna be shredded. I don't think I need to lose more than that to be in condition.
Just being careful not to
yeah,
take yourself down too
Yeah.
fast. Yeah.
So this is why I like Neil, because when my body starts to change, he starts to feed me more, and my body change more. You know, it's different. I do like low carbs and medium carbs and high carbs. My low carbs day is 300 grams carbs. It's a good amount of carbs.
Mine was 400 my low day.
Your low day, so it's a good carbs. It's a good amount of
Still
carbs.
low, yeah.
Yeah.
That's for off days or
off days high carbs.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He wants to feed
My
me
off
off.
days were always, I had 2 days a week that were low, like 400.
400.
And then the other days, like back and legs, I'd have like for sure 1,000. Then I'd probably do 800 on like shoulders and chest day, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Are you doing the Arnold UK as well?
No.
Okay.
No. Because I want to go to Pittsburgh.
Are you going to compete there also?
Yeah,
Did you already plan did you put out what you were going to compete in this year?
Not yet,
Okay.
but I want to go
So
there.
you get one show at a time.
Yeah, I want to. This is one show I want to go, and I said to Steve,
I'd like to come to
yeah, to New York too, because I
Okay.
competed at New York in 2018, and it's a good show. I always said, okay, I want to go there and get this ring, you know, and yeah, it's really cool.
You got the OG one. You got the Night of Champion one.
Yeah, mine says NOC.
NOC.
NOC,
Not
Night of Champion. Yeah,
You want that ring, huh?
yeah, I want the ring. So I think
This
this
is worth a lot now too.
Yeah, and I think this is the year. I think this is the year. So I like it, especially because last year didn't compete. So you know when you feel like I want to compete, I want to be there, I want to go to that stage.
So you're gonna have a big year.
Yeah, big year. So especially last year, I went to watch Pittsburgh and it was amazing. And I went to watch New York and it was amazing too.
Who should have won in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, Derek.
You had Derek winning.
Yeah, Derek.
What was the reason you had Derek winning? Your opinion?
Because the flow, you know, the muscle, you know.
Was it
Nick
close, Rafa? Was it close?
Was close, but not that close.
You think Martin could have won if he was in shape? Hard to say.
I don't think so. Not that year.
But Derek was improved a lot for the Olympia, don't you
Yeah.
think? From
I think
that?
I think the shape Derek showed up at the Arnold was the best.
Yeah.
And then he come to the Pittsburgh, wasn't like Arnold, but still looking really good. And I don't think Nick has the flow. He has the
Muscle,
but
yeah.
the muscle. He has the condition. I think it was his best physique at the Pittsburgh. But when you see like pose per pose, my eyes goes to Derek, because the
shape.
small waist. Yeah, the shape.
You're a shape guy.
Yeah, I'm the shape guy. I like to.
Yeah, of
This is
course.
bodybuilding for me. I look to guys like you and Ronnie, Flex Wheeler, Shao. It's different, but you guys was big, was fucking massive,
Still in shape.
but still in shape. So Nick looks massive, but he doesn't have like the shape, the flow. But he's a good athlete.
But there's still a place for somebody in bodybuilding that doesn't have the best shape.
Yeah.
But when you're up against the best of the best in the world, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah. I think Derek was looking good, but at the Arnold, he was on point.
That Arnold won.
He surprised us actually because, coming in when you're Mr. Olympia, I'm just so used to the times that they were. And it's like, okay, you got to really knock the champ out to win. But Derek, he brought it.
Yeah.
And Samson missed it a little bit.
Yeah.
If Samson could put it together, we talk about he has probably, he's almost 350 pounds now.
Yes. His off season is crazy.
I still think he should have done the Arnold.
You think so? I don't think so. You know why? Because he made a lot of trip last year. He went to 9 countries, and then when he started the prep, he was tired from flight and eat.
It's taxing being Mr. Olympia. That's one thing you sign up for and you don't expect. I mean, the first year it took a toll on me too.
You know what? You know what's crazy? When like Jay was Mr. Olympia, when Ronnie was Mr. Olympia, and Phil was Mr. Olympia, they traveled 40 weeks out of the year, every year. So there was no like this year's. Every year they did those. That was normal because you had to do it. So sometimes nowadays the guys will go, "I did 6 trips this year." It's like they did 6 in 6 weeks. And then you show up to the Olympia and Jay would be a little bit off or Phil would be a little bit off. And they're like, look at how they look. But they don't realize they spent 40 weeks traveling around the
It's
room.
disappointing to me now that you guys don't guest pose as much.
Yeah, well,
In Brazil, did they have you guest pose at events?
not too much.
No.
It's strange because we don't get too much invite to guest posing. I don't know why.
Every week we were going. I mean, that's how we gathered a lot of our revenue.
Yeah, I don't know
We
why.
didn't have the prize money then,
Yeah, I think they should invite the athletes more to go to the championship.
Well, that's why you're here, right?
Yeah.
mean, you
I want you to go.
You went to New York Pro. You went to Pittsburgh. You went and supported it. So,
Mhm.
Hey, there's a show here in April you could guest pose at.
yeah.
Right?
Jay Cutler Classic.
Yeah, I go. When?
First week of April.
4th, yeah.
Yeah, let's go. I'll be there. We're gonna be the show.
It's at South Point.
South Point. It's here in Vegas.
It's here in Vegas.
Yeah, I have one.
Cutler Classic.
Classic.
Oh,
Amateur
nice, nice.
You guys have to come check it out.
Maybe we'll get you up there and Regan up there and hey, listen, there's all these pro bodybuilders in Vegas. Come show
Invites
up.
Are
everybody.
you going to train with anyone else while you're in Vegas, like any other
I
bodybuilders?
had some working outs with Keon when he was prepping to Olympia, and now he's trained more at the New Tech, and he was trained more at the Dragons. But we're gonna do some work.
Do you like to train with other bodybuilders?
Yeah, I like to. I like. I've been training with Joey at the Dragons there, and
Is he helping you with posing yet?
yes, we're gonna start tomorrow.
So how many days a week do you think you'll practice?
We're gonna do like 3 or 4 days a week.
Good.
We're gonna do like because we know at the Arnold they're gonna push hard, especially Steve gonna push hard, and I know Nick poses really well, Had Chupa poses really well too, so I need to be prepped to be there. And,
Yeah, Joey's a good coach. He got voted coach of the year for the
and he's a good partner to train too. And I was talking to Reagan, but he's not here right now, right?
Tuesday.
He'll come back Tuesday. Yeah, I like to train with Reagan. He's a good
He's pretty
guy.
strong.
Yeah, he's strong as fuck.
Pretty big right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
you
about
guys-
300 pounds,
You
right?
guys are about the same height.
Yes.
Yeah.
We turned pro in the same year.
Yeah.
I met him in
And,
Brazil.
and he turned pro in Brazil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he-
met him at the hotel in Brazil before he went on
At
stage.
the Arnold.
Yeah. He was staying in my hotel, and he's like, all shy, young kid, He's like, oh my God, Jay Cutler's in the gym. He told because he was working with Chris Aceto at the time, So was John De La Rosa working with Chris then when you guys were training? Was he his coach then, or was he
think
with
he
Patrick
was.
Tor? Oh,
I
really?
think he was working with Chris and then started working with me.
Neil, yeah.
Yeah.
Then he's with Patrick Tor.
Yeah.
when he finished. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still close to John. I still talk to him.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
a-
trying. I need to get him to come out here and come.
He's running a gym down there in
yeah.
Florida.
System Fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still
It's
have
amazing.
I need to go.
I'm happy to him because he married now, and he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, I've known him.
He was training like every day, and he speaks Spanish too,
Yeah.
and he kind of understand me a little bit more, and it was comfortable to talk to him because myself and Karen was there, and we didn't have anybody to talk Portuguese, So when you talk to someone understand a little bit, was good. Yeah, John's a good guy. I love him, and yeah, so I talked to Reagan to do some working outs together, and yeah.
Oh man, I don't know what else.
No, it's good.
I need to do one working out with Jay in life.
We're gonna need to film it for your
Yeah.
YouTube.
Let's go.
Teach
Are
me
you
some.
gonna train hard?
No, I mean I'll let him train.
Hey, he said he likes to bury
Are you
people on
filming?
legs.
So how often are you filming YouTube here now
4 days a week.
and keeping everyone
3,
informed
yeah.
in Brazil?
Yeah.
Do you speak
We
Portuguese?
do more. Yeah, we speak Portuguese, but
You have subtitles?
yeah, I have subtitles. So if you guys want to put subtitles on this, I have a guy there.
Okay.
You can put before this go to the internet. It's good because like what you guys doing here for me. You guys are introducing myself to the people here, and I like it to do this when Flex. When I was training with Flex, I said to Flex. People know you in Brazil as an athlete, but they don't know you as a husband, as a business guy, And then we start to. At that time, I was doing a lot of content to YouTube, and we was put subtitle, and people start to know more about Flex. And then when he came to Brazil, it was crazy. He said, "Hey, I never saw something like that before," because people start to understand. So it's really good to make people understand. Like before, I watched all your videos and didn't understand anything. And then when I start to understand, I come back and watch everything again.
Now you know exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And for me, it was good because I was practicing English, doing English class, and watching the video, saw you speaking about bodybuilding. The thing I was living was easier to understand.
Yeah.
My practicing, you helped me to learn English.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Awesome.
good. Yeah.
Anyone you want to shout out or thank or?
Yeah, so I want to thank my wife Karen. She's here, and she's been
hiding.
Yeah, we've been together for 10 years and 9 years as married, and we got a beautiful daughter right now. And she moved here with me. To be honest with you guys, living in Brazil was way more comfortable, because we had a lot of people working with us at the house, with the baby, with everything. And coming here, I know it's not easy for her because she needs to take care of a lot of more things at the house, and she take care of our business too. And I know it's a hard work, and so thank you, Karen, to be with me here. And yeah, my coach Neil too, he's really good with me. He always come and put me to, high. And Flex Lewis too, because without Flex gave me this opportunity in 2019, probably would be a little bit different, my life. And yeah, it was amazing. And Max Titanium, my sponsor, because they believe me, and they still believe me when I put this project on table, because we was doing a lot of content there, and I know I'm more productive to the company there, but they accept the fact I should come here to train, to place better at the Olympia and the Audi show. So Max Daniel always with me, even in 2025, I didn't compete, and the companies need the athletes, face competing and in the hype to sell products and to introduce the products to the other people. So even I was in my lowest phase, they was with me,
Supported you.
Yeah, supporting myself. And this is really, I appreciate that, because it's not all the companies are able to do that, and they are really great with me. And yeah, thank you guys for having me here.
And millions of fans in Brazil that
Yeah.
watch this show.
Millions of fans in Brazil.
No.
We're gonna put subtitles so people understand. So
We're excited to see
thank
you at
you.
the Arnold Classic.
Thank you,
coming up.
thank you.
We'll hopefully see some countdowns, and
Yeah.
like we said, we'll keep everyone informed.
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about you actually
Nice,
on the podcast.
nice.
So
thanks for my.
I'm sure we'll do some breakdowns. And
they are talking of you being the biggest surprise of the show, meaning that from the hype that's leading in, people are, wow, how's Rafa going to look standing next to the current crop, because we haven't seen you next to them in a minute.
Yeah, so
The new improved. Everyone's expecting the new improved and
And you know,
mature.
and I think this is it's good timing for you because you're starting to see the tall bodybuilders towards the forefront, the
They're-
Samsons
you know,
and the
you're tall
Andrews.
for body.
yeah,
And for you, you're
tall.
right in
Yeah.
that same, and you have the shape just like them. So this fits you a lot more too.
Yeah, this is good because when I look to the top 5 at the Olympia, so in my vision, Andrew Jackson was the best look there because he impressed me. But it's hard to put Andrew and then compare to Derek and Hadi
And then Samson.
and then Samson. If I think if Samson was in shape, probably could be different. Like Andrew and Samson fight
1-2.
to the 1-2, and then Derek and Hadi fight to the 34.
I always said it depends on who you're standing next to.
Yeah, depends. And for me, it's good to see all these guys coming and getting this place because it's better to compare myself with these guys, height guys.
So you're who are you looking forward to standing next to the most?
There, Andrew.
Yeah, of course. If he
Andrew.
impressed you that much, you want to say,
Yeah.
okay, if this guy is making this much of an impact, because he's arguably
6'2".
the future now of
Yeah.
like what's happening. And we said in 26 he's coming.
Yeah. So yeah, it would be amazing to be there with him. And let's see. I will bring my best. We've been working on this, and I miss it to compete a lot. This fire is,
See it. I see you're excited about it.
You're
Yeah.
excited.
And I'm excited to be here. Like I said to you guys, you inspire me a lot, not just as an athlete, but as a human. I always saw you, how do you treat your fans? Always, I pay attention on this. I never met somebody, especially from Brazil, who had the opportunity to meet you and say, "Oh, Jay didn't give me attention." No, always they oppose you. Always people say, "Hey, Jay's a kind guy. He always talk. He always
Love bodybuilding.
yeah." So this inspired me a lot, and for me, I'm living a dream to be here today. Thank you so much. It's amazing. I was talking to Karen before. Say, Karen, Sal, well, where I come from to the place where I am right now, it's crazy. Because, I come from nothing and here today with the best, the guy who inspired me a lot. Yeah. Is if I stop today, I already win. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Life.
I grew up in a town of 6,000 people, and I'm the youngest of 7 in my family. No one weight trains except me, and I had a dream to move from Massachusetts to West Coast, and I came here, and I was in California for a couple of years.
You did the same thing he did.
Yeah, same thing. And like no one thought I could ever get. I looked at Dorian Yates, and I'm like, I can't look like that. And then fast forward 10 years later, I'm Mr. Olympia, and it comes fast, and all of a sudden you look back and then the career is over and a memory and your legacy lives on, man. So that's the main thing is you're making history. You're here. You gave up a whole world over there to come here. So we respect you for that. And I know we're all excited to see you at this Arnold Classic and beyond. We're not going to talk about the other shows because we need to get the first job done first. Yep. But we look forward to having you back on again. And like I said, we'll link up and keep crushing it, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bro. That was a long one.